Yeah, you hear me? I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. You good?
All right, man. Y'all know what it is, man. So shoot, man. It's me and Ralph today, man. Y'all see it in the background. Y'all know what time it is, man. So all right, man. We're gonna jump
Yes,
into
sir.
these NBA playoffs, man. Just kick it off, man. Hit that like button.
Man,
Hey Drex, if you want to come on here, man, just hit that link.
man, I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't know, or I didn't think Denver would go out like that in a game seven. Um, Now I think Shea Gildress, that's the MVP now. I think the NBA was just waiting to see who won that game to determine who they was gonna get an MVP to. So OKC won, so they're gonna give it to Shea Gildress. Um, Jokic, he didn't play his best. He got locked up by Alex Caruso. Um, and that's exactly, I ain't gonna say that's exactly the reason, but that's the main reason, or one of the main reasons that OKC went out and got Alex Caruso,
Right.
because Josh Giddey, you know, wasn't doing it enough defensively for him. So they made, and then they got Alex Caruso from Chicago without giving up a draft pick. It was just an even swap. Josh Giddey for
Caruso.
Alex Caruso. Yeah, just straight up. They didn't give up no draft picks. So that was now that's you starting to see that was one of the main reasons why they went and got Alex Caruso. Now I didn't think that they were gonna put him on Jokic and he was gonna lock Jokic up like that. But um I knew they went and got him for playoff defense because that's what they was lacking from Josh Giddey. So, that paid off. That trade paid off for him in that aspect. Um, Denver, I didn't like the fact that they fired their coach with like 3-4 games left to go in the regular season.
Yeah. And coaching
Yeah, that
matters,
didn't.
man. Coaching
Yeah, that
matters.
didn't make sense. That made absolutely no sense. And that
It
was the
does.
coach. That was the coach they won their only championship with, if I'm not mistaken. I think they only won one championship, and that was a couple years ago. And Mike Malone was the one that was the coach that delivered their first championship to Denver, and that's Jokic's only coach that he's had since he's been drafted to Denver. So I don't mind you firing Mike Malone, but I don't like how they fired him with like 2 or 3 games left to go in the season.
Made
You know what
no
I'm saying? They
sense.
should have just waited until the playoff was over and
Exactly.
went and decided which direction they was gonna go as far as a coach, because it wasn't like if they lost those final games or whatever, they was in jeopardy of missing the playoffs. They were gonna make the playoffs anyway. At that point, it was just all about seeding, like which seed they was gonna finish, because it was tight down the stretch. It was about 4 or 5 teams that was right there in the mix within like a 2-3 game difference. So they only really was playing for seed. They wasn't playing to get in the play. To make the play. They were gonna make the playoffs anyway. So now if you Denver, you probably got to go and look at some Michael Porter trade scenarios, like because he didn't show up at all in the playoffs. Not just yesterday, but he didn't show up at
At
all. Like
all.
he
I
he
know.
didn't show up in the last playoff series against the Clippers.
That was
So
a flop.
yeah, so I think he getting like, if I'm not mistaken, I think his contract is like 35, 36 million a year, something like that. So I would go and try to trade
Yeah, ain't no
Michael
way.
Porter.
Yeah, ain't no way I'm paying that boy that much money and he ain't coming up. Like, all right, you can coast through the season a little bit, but you got to turn it on. If you're gonna coast through the season, you got to turn it on in the playoffs, and he ain't doing none of that. So
Yep. And even though Aaron Gordon was hurt too, but I don't think that would have been a factor in them winning or losing yesterday. I think OKC was just gonna go ahead and
yeah,
just beat them anyway. You know what I mean? I don't think Aaron Gordon. Now he might have would have made the lead not as big as what it was, but they still was gonna lose by 20 plus. You know what I'm saying? So they got some work cut out for them in this offseason. They got. I don't know if Russell Westbrook gonna be back. I don't even know who they two guard was. Was it Braun?
Yeah,
Brown, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I would
He
I
was
would try to
cool.
yeah, he was straight, he was cool. But I
Yeah,
would
he
I
ain't
would
good
try to,
enough.
yeah, he ain't good enough. So that's what I'm saying. I would try to go and trade Michael Porter to get some more depth. They need more depth, because they like you said, Russell Westbrook. I mean, that's cool, but you need at this point you need more than that from the depth standpoint. And they gonna have to come off for some of that money too, because they paying Jokic, they paying
Murray,
Jamal Murray. Yeah, so for what
Murray
Michael
didn't do
Porter giving
nothing.
them, for what Michael Porter give them, I think they could find a trade option and do something to get more depth or something, because they gonna need that.
Yeah, because I don't know Murray. He wasn't playoff Murray this year. I don't know what happened to him, man. Like they was turning the ball over. Like they was down 14 at halftime, and then they
Yeah,
just kept turning the ball over. They couldn't play no defense, giving up threes, man, and just fouling. You know what I'm saying? They got into the bonus early. OKC, and they took advantage of that. So
yeah.
yeah,
I don't know, bro. I mean, Jamal Murray, he fit that team, so it's just now he's starting to be a little bit more injury prone, but he really fit that team. So even if you do move Murray, it's like what type of point guard you gonna get in there that works well in that 1-2 role with Jokic?
yeah,
Because it's not a lot of centers in the NBA that could, like point centers. Like Jokic can bring the ball up. He can initiate the offense. He could pass. He could shoot. He do all that. It's not a lot of point guards that can work with that type of center. I mean, it's easier said than done, but a lot of point guards can't play their game and play with his game, if that makes sense.
yeah. That's why you need like when Murray ain't on because you know what I'm saying. It's gonna like you said he was inconsistent because of the injuries. But if you got something like Porter Jr., you know what I'm saying, he supposed to step in that role and do more than what he did, and he didn't. Man, that boy was straight
Because
garbage. You know
Michael
what I'm saying?
Porter is what? He like 6'9", right? 6'9",
Yeah,
6'10".
he supposed to be doing some
Yeah,
big
so
things out
he's
there.
he's supposed to be like a 20 and 10 guy.
Man, that boy don't. They ain't nothing close to that. He not this year. That boy is
Now he sh-
super
he
inconsistent.
he should be 20 and 10 right now.
Yeah,
When he out there playing and he's not injured, he should be a 20 and 10 guy. And
yeah, that boy a 10 and 10 guy.
I don't think he should be shooting that many threes either. I think at 6'10", which is now it's a lost art in basketball now. A lot of guys is not shooting that mid-range jumper. You know what I mean? A lot of guys is not taking advantage of a mismatch. If you 6'10" and you can shoot, you know, you should be working on your mid-range. You should be working on your post game when you get a mismatch, because it ain't a lot of guys. If you 6'10" and you got a guy on you that's 6'6", 6'7", you got a height advantage. You shouldn't bail them out by shooting threes. You know what I'm saying? You should back them down, or if you do take a jumper, it should be a mid-range jumper. You know what I mean? There should be no reason for you to be shooting threes, be shooting 8, 9 threes a game when you 6'10". All you gotta do is get up, and then you got a big that can space the floor. So it's not like you got a big that can't shoot. Like
Right.
Rudy Gobert ain't gonna be clogging the paint. Like Jokic can move out to the perimeter and take his guy out there. And if you 6'10" and you got somebody on you that's 6'7", 6'8", you should be taking advantage of that mismatch with the mid range. It ain't nothing. If you got good post play, you should be getting them in foul trouble and making them adjust to you. Don't be shooting all them threes and bailing them out, especially when you ain't hitting them. Now it look good when you hitting them, but sometimes you don't need a three. Sometimes you just need to draw contact, get to the line, and knock free throws down, and that's how you get going. Hit a couple mid range, get a couple easy ones go through. But just sitting there shooting 8, 9, 10 threes a game, and you ain't hitting but two of them, and I don't really like. That's the only thing I don't like about Michael Porter game. He shoot too many threes to be his size. He should be in the paint. He should be a 20 and 10 guy. He should be
Kind
a
of re-
three-level scorer.
exactly. Kind of remind me of when we had Sean Livingston. You know what I'm saying? He took advantage of his mid range. He'll back you down a little bit, turn around and shoot that mid range. You know what I'm saying? Because he has so much height on basically
Yeah,
shorter point guards. You know what I'm saying? So when we brought him in the game, he hit that mid range. Who else was doing it? Rip Hamilton. You know what I'm
yep.
saying? Like, dude, but even KD tall, you know what I'm saying? But he could shoot threes, but he still take advantage of that mid
The
range.
mid range. You're
I
right.
don't know what Michael Porter be doing, man. Like, so he need to get in the lab. I don't know, cause he ain't that old either, though. Like, he's still pretty much on the young side. So
Nah, he ain't. Now, would you trade Michael Porter? Which I don't know. You might have to get a third team involved because Phoenix need to get under the cap with some of that money. But would you trade Michael Porter in a deal for KD?
Yeah, I would. I would to yeah, because like you said, KD somebody definitely take advantage of that mid range. You know what I'm saying? Like KD, to me, KD could fit in anywhere. You know what I mean? Porter could do some damage over there. You know what I'm saying? If he, but yeah, KD on the Nuggets, I think that'll work.
Yeah, but I think you're gonna have to.
But like you said, it got to be another third team, another team
Yeah,
involved.
because they not Phoenix is not in position to, even if they get off KD, they not in position to bring back another 35-40 million dollar a year player. They already got Booker, who got a no trade clause, and they got I mean, not Booker, but they got Devin Booker, and they got Bradley Beal with a no trade clause. But they need a point guard and they need a big. So if they move KD, um, you get Michael Porter, but like I said, you probably get a third team involved, and Michael Porter end up going somewhere, I don't know, but they need to get a point guard back, back in return, somewhere in there, but I don't know where they're gonna get a point guard from, because they don't have the draft picks to get one. Um, and I don't know, they're in a mess out there in Phoenix. They got a mess going on.
Right. Before we get into the to the East, what you think about OKC and Minnesota?
Uh, I think that's gonna be a good series. I think Minnesota could win the series. Because I mean, how they playing right now with Ant, um, and then the OKC just coming off that long 7-game series with Denver. Uh, Ant playing well. Um, Julius Randle showing up in the playoffs. Nas Reed playing. Uh, Rudy Gobert had a solid game. Last series had a couple solid games last series. So I think this could be a 6 or 7 game series, but I'm gonna take Minnesota. Um, it's gonna be a 6 or 7 game series, but I'm gonna take Minnesota to beat them. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to see OKC having that second like go-to guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think if they OKC lose this series, that's what I think they're gonna do in free agency. I mean, this summer, yeah, in free agency, they're gonna go out and they're gonna trade some of
Shit, the
those picks
Thizzle.
in. Yep, they're gonna go and trade some of those picks in, and they're gonna go get another go-to proven guy. You know,
Yeah, that's what when I saw this when I watched OKC, I was like, man, who is they second? Williams is cool, but they really didn't got no bona fide second option, man. It's SGA or bust. Like they really
yeah,
don't got that. Like Chet is not like that offensive guy that you can go to. You can go to him a little bit, but to have him as your second option, or you know what I'm saying, like it's a big drop off. You know what I mean? Even before, like with us, well, no Steph, and it's a big drop off before we got Jimmy Butler. But with OKC, but they just deep. You know what I mean? Like they got a whole bunch of 2 and 3 options. You know what I mean? Like they ain't got that bona fide number 2 option though. So they
go-to,
definitely
yeah,
need that second option, man. Big
they
time.
would. If OKC lose this series, and I was them, I would try to go and get Jaylen Brown.
You think
I would
Boston
go and
gonna let
try.
it go?
I would try to go and get Jaylen Brown because, well, first of all, Boston can't keep all them people.
No,
You know, they get with this new CBA and how the NBA going,
jump
they
into it.
can't keep all these people. Jaylen Brown, I think when I looked, he'll be 32 at the end of his contract, and he'll be making like 64-65 million per
Yeah, I
year.
saw your post. That's crazy
Yeah,
how much money he gonna be making.
yeah. So if you OKC, you got all these picks, you need to start cashing them in for proven players, and you could throw Lou Dort in there. He could go back to Boston. You know, Boston need to shred salary too. They need a shred salary and get back under that luxury. So 2 of them guys is gonna be gone. I'm thinking Jaylen Brown, because next year Boston is gonna take a step back. You know what I'm saying? Tatum is basically gonna be out for the year with the torn Achilles. Then Jaylen Brown, he played through a meniscus, so I'm not sure if he's gonna get surgery this offseason and be ready to go next season. And at what point he coming back. Then you got Porzingis making big money, Drew Holiday making big money. You paid Derek White, so two of those four guys is gonna have to go for you to get back under, or start to get back under the luxury, because they paying a hell of a luxury price right now.
Yeah, that luxury.
And for the
Hey,
yeah,
it's way like it was bad back in the day when we was, winning, but now it's crazy now. Like it ain't no joke.
yeah, and now you look at like OKC, they only paying who? Shea Gildress and Lou Dort got a little bag, but it's not like Lou Dort breaking the bank. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
no, he's just a role player. They
yeah,
paid him to
you
be a
could.
role player, yeah, but
He's just basically a defensive guy that can knock down the three ball. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Not
you
at a
need him
high
open, hit like
percentage,
that.
but
Yeah, you need
yeah,
him
he's
open,
not
he
like
hit it.
a yeah. If he open, he'll hit it, but he's not like gonna razzle dazzle you off the dribble and pull up and hit the
Nah,
nah.
because
But
he'll go,
I mean,
he'll disappear in a minute.
he will. But I think if you OKC and you look at a guy like Jaylen Brown, you throw Lou Dort in that deal and some other other young pieces that they have and some draft picks, and they should get the deal done. But if you OKC, you don't worry about them picks because you've proven that you can draft well. So those young players that you're gonna give away and those picks you're gonna give away, I wouldn't even sweat it if I'm getting a guy like Jaylen Brown back, because I already proven that I can draft well. So I can replace the young players that I'm giving away in the deal with the other picks that I got. So, and they still loaded with picks. So it's time for them to start cashing some of them in anyway.
What is Brown, a two?
I mean, you can
Two
put them
guard?
at the two or the three.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, they probably gonna have to put him at the three since SGA is a two. But shoes, because what was Tatum? Tatum tore his Achilles,
Yeah, he tore his Achilles.
so he ain't gonna be back for a while. So you think they're gonna trade him, trade Jaylen Brown now, even though if,
I would. That's what I would do because, like I said, the Celtics gonna take a step back next year anyway. So having Jaylen Brown there, paying him that deal, paying him that money on that contract, it really don't make sense when you're not going anywhere. I don't think Boston. To me, I think Boston, if they make the play, well, I ain't gonna say if they're gonna make the playoffs, but they probably gonna be a second round exit again next year. You know what I'm saying? They good enough to still make the playoffs, but for Boston, making the playoffs just ain't good enough. For the Boston Celtics, it's like the Lakers. Once they make the playoffs, they expected to get to the
yeah,
finals.
it's finals or
So
bust.
yeah, so if you get into the playoffs and getting bounced in the second round and you got all these guys on the payroll, it really don't make sense. You can make the playoffs without Jaylen Brown on that team. I think they still good enough to make the playoffs, but they're not going nowhere. So it don't make sense to have him on the team, paying him that kind of money, and you ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said they're gonna take a step back next year anyway, in my opinion. So I would trade Jaylen Brown. And if I'm
I
OKC,
forgot they got Drew Holiday.
yeah, they paying Drew too. So I would trade Drew Holiday too. I would
That's
I would trade Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday, or either Jaylen Brown, Porzingis, and because Porzingis he be injured too, and Drew Holiday, he really ain't the same for what you paying him. So at least two of those guys gonna have to get traded. And like I said, if I'm OKC and I lose to the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals, I'm calling Boston and see what the asking price is on because there's not a lot of teams. I mean, it ain't but a few teams that have that much assets to trade for Jaylen Brown. And then OKC, that's a need. Jaylen Brown is an upgrade over Lou Dort. You know what I'm saying? So
My boy said, Drake said that give us back Drew, give us Drew back in Milwaukee. Who y'all gonna give?
I don't think Milwaukee's going nowhere. So it wouldn't even make sense for Drew to go back to Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee got to give away. Appreciate you,
You
Martha.
know,
Appreciate you. But yeah, they got to get off Giannis, man. Giannis went up out of there.
Milwaukee's not going nowhere next year either. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Hit that like button.
Milwaukee really, to be honest with you, Milwaukee just need to go ahead and do a rebuild. They need to go ahead and trade Giannis, because if you look at Milwaukee's situation moving forward, I don't think they own their own draft pick to like 2030, 2031 or something like that.
Dang.
So, and they need, players back in return, not just young players, but they need young players back that can play. So let's just say Milwaukee trades Giannis. Let's say he goes somewhere like Houston or San Antonio. Those are two teams that have draft picks that Milwaukee will want, and they also have young players that can play right now. Like Milwaukee don't need young role players back. They
Oh
need
my,
young players that can be in the starting lineup right now. You know what I'm saying? I
same.
think and them teams got them players that can play right now. You know what I mean? Like Reed Shepard could play right now for Milwaukee. He just can't get the minutes in Houston. Cam Whitmore can play right now in Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? You throw a Jabari Smith in there, he can play right now in
Yeah,
Milwaukee. So a
you said
team
yeah,
like
they
that
need
is
to
what they need
rebuild.
to they need yeah, they don't need just a rebuild. They need a rebuild with young players who can play right now. Not just young players who can sit on the bench and be role players or be projects in 2-3 years. You know, so I don't think trading Drew back to Milwaukee is really gonna do much or nothing. You know what I mean? Even though Dame is he tore his Achilles too, right?
Yeah, Dame been
Dame,
coming back for a minute because he tore
yeah,
his Achilles in the playoffs, I think. So
yeah. And then you got Bobby Portis. I think he a free agent.
and
Brooke Lopez is gonna be a free
Lopez,
agent.
yeah.
Yeah, so if I'm Giannis, I don't even really want to entertain or beat around the bush with Milwaukee. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell them to trade me.
I
find
thought
find a
you,
trade partner.
hey Drex, I thought y'all let go. Doc Rivers is still there. I thought for some reason I thought y'all let him go, but yeah, man, y'all got to get rid
Now
of Doc
Doc
Rivers.
Doc Rivers still there, but the thing is,
He doesn't play young dudes. Yeah,
not even don't play young dudes. The thing is I would have never even brought in Doc Rivers when I had Adrian Griffin. You know,
yeah.
Adrian Griffin was a young coach, and I think when they fired him, they had like the second best record in the league or something like that. You know what I'm saying? They had the
Yeah,
second
I don't
best record
know.
in the league or second in the East or something like that when they fired him. So
Oh, y'all still paying Bud though? Dang,
I think they was trying to win now,
cold world.
but it backfired on them. You know what I mean? They now if you fire Doc Rivers, you're gonna have to pay him too. And I think they still paying Boonhose, and I think they still paying Adrian Griffin.
Dang,
Um,
he said he think Giannis got Adrian fired.
I think he did too. But see, that's the thing now. Like he got a young coach fired, and now he's probably in a situation where he gonna ask out. And you only fired the guy because Giannis wanted him fired to bring in Doc Rivers. So Milwaukee, that's another team that's in a bad situation. They're in a horrible situation.
And three coaches right now. That's crazy.
They're in a horrible situation, bro. I'm talking about horrible. Like
Cause
they got the flat out rebuild, and then you
he,
still on the hook for Dame because he had a torn Achilles. So who's trading for Dame right
ain't
now with a
nobody
torn
trading for
Achilles?
ain't nobody trading for Dame this year. Probably next year, but nobody trading for Dame, man. Like, cause
And
how old
even
is
when you
Dame?
trade for Dame next year, like what is his value gonna be next year after a torn Achilles versus his value was when they traded for him in Milwaukee?
Right. Yeah, self-inflicted. The organization. Yeah, I mean y'all did it to yourselves, man. And now the dude that made y'all get rid of y'all coach, other coach, he about to get up out of there. So was it because of the brother situation? Because he wasn't playing his brother? Because his brother is trash, man. I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
know,
lie.
man. I don't know why. I don't know what the beef was with Adrian Griffin and Giannis, but I heard Giannis did have something to do with him getting fired and possibly wanting Doc Rivers as the coach. I mean, I don't. Sometimes, man, you can't really listen to these players, even if that's your franchise guy. You can't really listen to them because some of the stuff they want, it don't really make sense for the franchise. You know what I mean? You want to win now, but you also don't want to put all your chips in. You want to have something left in case it backfires. You could kind of have a plan B. I think Milwaukee went all in following up Giannis, and they didn't have a backup plan. Because, like I said, I don't think they own a draft pick. Their own draft pick until like 2030, 2031.
That's
They
crazy.
they don't have a young player with potential that can play like right now. You know what I'm saying? They got some young role players that's gonna
Yeah,
be role players at best.
let me see who on their team.
I know they went out and got Michael Porter Jr. Not Michael Porter, but Kevin Porter Jr. Kevin Porter. They got
Oh,
him from the Clippers at the deadline. He can play. He can start, but you don't really have a big because Brooke Lopez he getting old and
Jericho
he's free
Sims.
agent.
That boy ain't doing nothing.
Bobby Porter is a free agent.
Gary
I mean,
Trent.
they're in
They
a
got
bad
Gary
situation.
Trent. Yeah, he ain't doing nothing out
Gary
there.
Trent is pretty much a depth player. You know,
Yeah.
he's nobody you can count on to be your. If you count on Gary Trent to be your starting two guard, then your starting two guard position is ain't good.
Yeah,
Ain't good.
they got Terry and Prince.
Torian Prince,
Oh, I
another.
forgot they got Kuzma though.
I mean, Kyle Kuzma, he's not really like that, man. He ain't really like that,
Nah.
bro. Nobody wants Kyle Kuzma. Like nobody's calling Milwaukee
Right, I was about to say
asking about Kyle Kuzma. Like, what's Kyle Kuzma's availability? Nobody's calling and asking about that.
he said we robbed KPJ from the Clippers. He was a steal.
He
But I mean,
was. That's the only thing that you can hang your hat on and say, if we trade Giannis, this guy, and he really, to be honest with you, he probably shouldn't even be your first option. But since he in Milwaukee, if you trade Giannis, he will be. You know, so I mean, it was a steal, but it'll be an even bigger steal if you had some other guys that could what
yeah.
he can probably be a third option. If you had two other guys and make Kevin Porter a third option, but Milwaukee's cooked. They done.
So right now it's Giannis, Kevin Porter Jr., and Kyle Kuzma. They're making a playoff.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean,
We'll take
you probably could with Giannis still there in the role players or whatever. You probably could still make the play in, something like that. But you're not gonna be cracking the second, third, fourth seed, unless it be like a major blow to the East where all the top teams have significant injuries and
all the top teams.
yeah, like all right, but that right there ain't gonna that's not getting you nowhere right there.
Yeah, man. All right,
That
man.
team ain't that team ain't going nowhere.
All right, man. We talked about the NBA, man. We're gonna go to that NFL, man. Brock Purdy's deal, man. JD, if you still watching, man, we talking about your boy, man. See if he see what my man Ralph's think about the Brock Purdy deal.
What they give him 60? I mean 50 something.
It's 53 a year though. I know it's 53 a year. That's tied for seventh. Um, fair enough. I'll wait 50 years for the Bucks to win another chip. Hey man, it might be a little longer than that. But I know he's tied for seventh in the league annually.
And he got a no trade clause.
Who? Brock Purdy?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Brock Purdy's
Man,
49ers contract includes a full no trade clause, 165 million in new money over the first 3 years,
no trade clause.
170 over 4 years. Man,
Man, I don't know about all that, man. The Iron fans saying it's a team friendly deal. I don't know. He ain't the top. He ain't nowhere near the top because, like I said, he is seventh highest paid annually. But man, come on, man. That dude's a straight up what they call him, a game manager with all those weapons, man. And you see what he did. He did without the weapons. To me, I mean, he overpaid. Because a lot of these dudes is overpaid though. But you know what I'm saying, put a lot of pressure on him now. You can't just say,
yeah,
"Oh, we went to the playoffs. Oh, we went to the Super Bowl." Now you got to win. Now you got to pay. You got to win. And I know Niners can't keep all the weapons that they got. So we're gonna see what he made
yeah.
of, man.
They say he got 181 guaranteed. So
He won. He won that one.
yeah, I think Brock Purdy is like he just one of them systematic quarterbacks that
Right.
fit what San Francisco do.
He's a good quarterback for them, but he just
Yeah,
to me
he's their
he can't put
quarterback.
him on it. Yeah, you ain't gonna just go to any team and just like ball out. You know what I mean? Like he loaded. He don't make the team. Well, I ain't gonna say he don't make the team better, but he don't make those guys that Ayuk was already, you know what I'm saying, good. Kittle was already good. They got CMC. Who else was in there? Debo was already, you know what I'm saying, a good player. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying, he made those players better. Those players to me made him look better. You know what I mean? So I just don't see why. First Niner fans was like, well, Jay Will, he was saying he's an elite quarterback. Then when last year he was like, nah, I don't know if we need to pay him. But now it's like, oh yeah, he is well deserved. I'm like, man, y'all don't know what y'all want with Brock Purdy, man. First he was elite, but now, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Like to me, I'm glad they paid him. We're gonna see what they do with him now. But I don't think he makes the team that much better. He's a system quarterback, like you said, game manager, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. That's not saying that he garbage, but he just
Yeah,
ain't one of them top quarterbacks, though. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Talent
I,
wise,
yeah. Talent wise, no, but I mean, 50 million is that's about the going rate for a starting quarterback now. So, and if San Francisco feel like they got their guy, they're not probably gonna risk the chance of letting him go and going and try to find another quarterback that can do what he does for them in that system. I don't think they're gonna. And they've been to the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, so his time there in that system, he proved that he could be the guy for them in that system. So you know what I mean. Like I said, 50 million. That's about the going rate now for a quarterback. So and he got 53, so he right around the going rate it is for a quarterback, and it's only gonna go up from
right?
here. So
So I'm trying to see.
so I mean they it was either that or they run their chances with another rookie. And then sometimes the rookies don't always work out for San Francisco. Look at Trey Lance. Like he didn't work out at all, and they took him. They traded all the way up inside the top five to get him.
Yeah,
So
because the only one that's getting more than him is Dak, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Tua, and he's tied with Jared Goff. He's getting paid more than Justin Herbert, Lamar, Jalen Hurts, and Kyler Murray. So
now getting paid more than Lamar is just crazy, But
hey, Lamar, he getting paid more than Lamar, Justin Herbert. Like talent wise, he's not better than any of these guys. Other than I don't know, he might maybe Tua, but talent wise, he's not better than any of these guys. That's why I'm like, you just can't put him in on any team and think he's just gonna thrive and just make a team better. Though, you know what I'm saying? Like to me, if he goes to a team with a great defense like San Francisco had and some All Pro weapons. It's not too many quarterbacks. These top 10 quarterbacks can't go into San Francisco and be good. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So that's my thing. I'm not saying that he a trash quarterback, but I'm saying he's put in a good situation. They got a great uh well, I don't know what they're gonna be like this year, but this past two or 3 years since he's been on the team, they've had a great defense. And they've
yeah,
had weapons, you know what I'm saying, except until this year or until last year. And we saw what happened to him when the weapons not there consistently. They not
yeah,
as good. He can't carry them like he was doing. So
yeah. Because they just paid George Kittle, and then they just paid Fred Warner.
yeah, and he's
So
getting older too, though. You know what I'm saying? They got rid of Debo, which you know what I'm saying. Somebody had to go. You don't know how you gonna come back from his injury. Kittle's getting older. Kittle's still a top three tight end, but he's getting older. CMC
yeah,
year to year. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know. Like what 2 years ago he played the full season. This year he didn't play almost anything. So you just never
yeah,
know with
yeah,
McCaffrey. And like I said, you don't know that line. They got some of the pieces ain't there no more. That defense you don't know. I mean, they got their coordinator back from a couple years ago. What's the dude's name? Uh,
it's my offensive coordinator.
Not a defensive coordinator. So the defense might be a little better because remember he went the dude that got fired from the Jets.
Oh, Robert Sala.
Yeah, so they got him back. So man, defense might be a little bit better, but he ain't got the same pieces because Greenlaw is gone. That was a big piece. Hufanga was a big piece when Salah was there. I don't know, man. Like that's not the same.
Yep.
The team when he was balling on there when he went to the playoffs or he went to the Super Bowl is not the same team because Debo was a big part of that. CMC was a big part of that. You just don't know if he's gonna be healthy though.
Yep. They drafted Mikael Williams out of Georgia. They might
He's a
sign. They might sign Clowney. Maybe I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
I can see Clowney doing decent over there, but just nothing to where they used to be. You know what I'm saying? Clowney getting old, man.
yeah, Clowney. They. I mean, he could be over there for depth. You know.
Yeah, he just yeah, he gotta be because he ain't that dude no more. He been in the league for a minute.
Who else they got over there? I mean, it's some. I mean, it's a couple free agents out there.
They
Like,
second string has always been their downfall. You know what I'm saying? Like they always had a good front, and the linebackers ain't what it used to be because like I said, Greenlaw is gone, and Warner always gonna be Warner a beast. So He's probably one of
Yeah.
the top two middle linebackers in the league. So, but up front, they Hargrave or Hargrave, whatever his name is, I don't think he worked out. When they traded for Chase Daniels, that didn't work out. I don't know who they got up front because they got rid of DeForest Buckner years ago, and the two people that they got to replace him didn't work out. Um, I don't know who on their line because, like I said, yeah, DeForest Buckner's gone. Armstead, I think, is gone. I don't know. They not the same, and the offensive line over there. Niners got. I think Rams gonna win that division. I got Rams.
Yeah, I could see the Rams. I could see the Rams winning that division.
You never.
The Rams always. People be counting the Rams, but they added Devontae. Even though they got rid of Cooper Kupp, they added Devontae and
Right.
Puka Nacua over there.
On paper, they nice. You got to see what they do, but they nice on paper.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna bring Jalen Ramsey back.
Yeah, I heard they trying to supposed to trade Ramsey though. But Niners, who you think the best quarterback? Because of course, Jay Will was saying Brock Purdy the best quarterback in the NFC West, and the other two Niner fans, JD and Bogey, was like Stafford was the best quarterback.
I think Stafford probably is the best quarterback in
Right.
that. I don't dislike Brock Purdy, but Matthew Stafford still probably the best quarterback in that division.
And talent wise, I think Kyler Murray better than Brock, man. Just as pure talent wise, Brock Purdy is not that guy. He's a serviceable quarterback, just like Russell Wilson. But Russell Wilson did a little. I think Russell Wilson could run on his feet a little bit more than Brock though. But he's a game manager, man. Who else is there? Who else is in that division?
Oh, they just added Sam Darnold.
Oh, Sam Darnold
in Seattle.
Oh, Seattle. You think he better than Sam Darnold?
Yeah, man. Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold last year had a good season, but that was his first good season he had since he's been drafted, and that's what his 70 or something like that.
Yeah. Sam Darnold is not that dude, man. He overachieved. He had great weapons over there. He had my boy Jones running the rock. And he have two, Addison and Jefferson, man, are good. And don't they got a good tight end? Is it Hawkinson?
No, Hawkinson went to
the Lions. The Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he got two good receivers over there. And he said Sam Darnold was on luck. Yeah.
They brought in what's the running back? Aaron Jones out of Green Bay.
They got Aaron Jones and a boy Mason from the Niners.
Yeah, him. And he just had a good offensive coordinator over there. That was just,
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they didn't have Mason. They got Mason this year. I forgot who they had. I forgot who they had after Aaron Jones.
Was it Madison?
Might have been Madison.
Or did Madison go to the I think Madison might have went to the Raiders, and then Josh Jacobs came over to y'all.
Yeah. They probably tried to.
And Aaron Jones went to Minnesota.
Jones had I like Aaron Jones, you know what I'm saying? So I really ain't gonna dog Aaron Jones. Like he had a cool season over there, man. Like, and Darnold he overachieved over there, man. That's of course they didn't pay him again because they don't even believe in Darnold like that. They knew that, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't they wasn't gonna get a second year out of that. So
yeah, and he was over there with Kevin O'Connell as the coach, so that's probably the best coach he had since he been in the NFL. Because who was with the Jets when he got there?
Well, O'Connell,
the head coach.
With Darnold?
Yeah, when Sam Darnold got drafted to the Jets, who was the head coach then?
I don't even remember. Let me see.
Who the hell was the coach then? Then he got traded to Carolina during the Matt Rule era, and that shit was like terrible. And then
when did Darnold get drafted?
Hold on. Then he went to San Francisco to be a backup. And then he went to Minnesota. And he wasn't even supposed to start in Minnesota. JJ McCarthy got drafted and just tore his ACL, and that would bump Sam Darnold to the starting lineup.
Was it Gase? It wasn't Gase, was it? Adam Gase?
Might have been.
Because it was Todd Bowles. It was Todd Bowles, Adam Gase, Saleh.
It was before Saleh.
Yeah, Gase was before Saleh.
Yeah, it was 2018 when Sam Darnold got drafted.
So 2018, yeah, because Gase was 19 to 20. Todd Bowles was 15 to 18, and then Gase was 19 to 20. Then Saleh was 21 to 24.
So it was Todd Bowles' final year.
Okay.
That was his last year.
Yeah, man. So
yeah, Sam Darnold, now if he go to Seattle and do the same thing this year that he did next year, then I could say something a little bit different about him. But until he do that, nah.
I'll put him in the same boat as Geno. You know what I mean? Like they got a whole bunch of potential. They might ball out 1 year or half a year, and you be like, all right, next year they gonna, you know what I'm saying, leave where they left off, and they never do it.
Yeah, you got some players that they play good in certain systems and with certain coordinators and coaches, and then you got other players that it don't matter where they go, they gonna ball out.
Nothing. Yeah, exactly.
And Darnold is like, to me, he's like one of them players that he has to have a certain system. He has to have a certain coaching coordinator for him to look good. He's not one of them players that can just go to any team and ball out wherever he go. You know, he can't do that.
Well, I hope he
didn't do it with the Panthers, and then he was a backup in San Fran. And
I hope he do it with the. I kind of hope he do it with the Seahawks so he could beat the Niners though. But because I can't stand the Niners though. So as long as he beat the Niners, I'm good with it. But
then he got Jalen Milroe over there. They drafted him
in Seattle.
Yep.
Man, who else is over there? It's who?
Cooper Kupp. He signed over there.
Oh, so they got Kupp and DK, huh? Oh, they got DK no more.
DK got traded to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I forgot.
Who
they got over there? Oh,
Cooper Kupp they got is DK's replacement. They got
JSN,
Jackson Smith and Jigma.
Yeah.
Or Jigma Smith. I get
the JNS or JSN, one of them.
Yeah, got him out of Ohio. So that's gonna be the 1, 2.
Them boys is trash, man. They gonna get it tomorrow.
That's the 1, 2 over there. It's Cooper Kupp and Smith and Jigma.
Yeah, I think it's JSN.
Yeah,
he got a little better last year. I ain't gonna lie, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be solid this year. I think he could have 1,000 yards this year.
Yeah, it's just
I think he could.
Cause so say, Kenneth Walker Jr. He got to stay healthy. That boy stayed hurt last year.
They might trade him.
Think so?
Yeah, he stayed hurt, like you just said.
Stay hurt, man. I had him on my fantasy team. This dude always hurt. I'm like, when he in, he good though. You know what I mean? Like that boy, he nice when he in, but he ain't good. Like he ain't in like that. So
yep, they signed DeMarcus Lawrence too from Dallas.
Oh yeah.
They drafted that safety out of South Carolina, Nick. Emin Ward.
Oh, this is okay. Before we go, what you think Pickens gonna do over there in Dallas, or how you think Dallas gonna be now that Pickens is over there?
I mean, I don't think Dallas is gonna go deep in the playoffs like they think. You know, I don't. You know, to me they gonna be a pass heavy team.
You know, they ain't got no running back.
Yeah, that, and you don't pay Dak $60 million a year. You don't pay CD. What's CD Lamb getting, like 34, something like that?
So he up there, yeah.
So you're not paying CD Lamb 34. You're not paying Dak 60, and you're not trading for George Pickens, who's in a contract year, to not throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? You don't.
Yeah.
I mean, what running backs did they pick up? Didn't they pick up somebody from Denver? because they let Rico Dow go, and we got him in Carolina. We signed him in Carolina.
I don't know who they got.
So
yeah, but they didn't get nothing crazy.
Yeah, they're gonna be, to me, they're gonna be pass heavy in my opinion. That's just me. Like I said, you're not paying Dak $60 million a year to turn around and hand the ball off. You're not paying CeeDee Lamb $34 million to not throw him the ball. You're not trading for another wide receiver who's in a contract year to not throw him the ball either. You know what I mean? So to me, they're gonna be pass heavy. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't. If they make the playoffs, I don't see them doing much. George Pickens anyway. I mean, he one of them receivers he a damn good receiver, but he ain't all the way there. You know what I'm saying? George Pickens one of them type of players that you could easily get in his head. You know what I'm saying? Like the play could be coming to him. And instead of trying to make a play on the ball, he going back and forth with the DB fighting, so.
Exactly. And Dallas ain't got the backbone or the coaching staff to really, reel him in. The Tomlin really couldn't reel him in. Dallas definitely ain't.
Yeah, then they got a first-year head coach over there. Your boy's out of there.
Mike McCarthy gone.
Out of there. So
we're going to see. Like, they really ain't got Dak, man, he ain't, because they was talking trash to Dak. What's the boy name on the other side? They cornerback that got hurt.
Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They be talking crazy to Dak. So Dak he ain't the leader of the team. I mean, he one of the leaders, but you know what I'm saying? Quarterback is usually one of them dudes that reel everybody in.
Yeah.
I don't think they listen to Dak like that. I don't know who like the true leader. I don't know if it's Micah Parsons or who it is, but they really ain't got that just bona fide leader to me on that team. CD might be that guy, but to me, CD quiet though. You know what I mean? CD, he do his damage on the field, and that's it.
Yeah. And they still ain't paid Parsons. I don't think they're gonna keep Pickens. I think this is just a 1-year thing because they think they can go deep in the playoffs, and they're not gonna re-sign Pickens because, like I said, you're paying Dak 60, you're paying CD like 34. Then you're gonna have to pay Pickens in a contract. Yeah, I don't care what nobody say. Pickens can say all he want. He trying to prove himself. At the end of the day, you still trying to get paid. You was wanting your money over there in Pittsburgh. So how the hell you go from Pittsburgh to Dallas, and all of a sudden you're not concerned about getting
You don't want to work. Yeah, you don't want your money like that, man. Come on.
Yeah, no, you at the end of the day, you trying to get paid. You just
they gotta pay Parsons too, though. They gotta pay Parsons.
Yep, still gotta pay Parsons. So Pickens, they can say all they want. Pickens want his money. Pickens, they traded for DK Metcalf and paid DK Metcalf and then traded off Pickens. Pickens wants his money. You know what I'm saying? So he can say all this stuff about he trying to prove himself, this, that, and the third. At the end of the day, George Pickens, he can say all he want to say. They want their money. If he thinks he's a wide receiver one, he want his money. Damn all that what he talking about, trying to prove himself, this, that, and third. You want your money.
Yeah, that's a lot of lip service. We all know what it is.
He just trying to me, he trying to say the right thing to kind of clean his image up. You know what I mean? He don't want to come off.
Yeah, but when he get on that field and not getting the ball, like, you know what I'm saying? Because you the number 2 guy. You was the number 1 guy over there. You the bona fide number 2 guy over there. You're not better than CD. All right, come on. Like, you're not. So
yeah, you want your money. He can say all he want to say. He wants his money.
Yeah, but he ain't gonna get it because they're gonna pay Parsons before they pay him.
Yeah, that's why I say this is just like a 1-year thing for the Cowboys.
Yeah,
you know.
Right, yeah. And then you ain't even paid Michael Parsons, and you already paying one of your receivers, CeeDee Lamb, 34 million, and your quarterback 60. It's like, and Trayvon Diggs getting paid. He getting paid like what, 18, 19 for a quarterback? Yeah, so he getting paid too. So they're not gonna re-sign Pickens. They're gonna have to let him go and sign Parsons.
Yeah. Is it true? Because I saw it said Aaron Rodgers went to the Saints. Is that true?
No, I haven't seen that. So I ain't seen that. But
I thought I ran across it on Facebook or Instagram, but that's the only place I saw it. So it just came to my mind.
I don't know I don't know why the hell he would go there anyway, because
Yeah, he gonna win. Yeah,
they worse than the Steelers right now.
yeah. You better go to like if you got a chance to go to the Steelers or the Saints, man, you better go to the Steelers, man. At least you really got a chance to go into the playoffs. At least you ain't going nowhere else, but he used to that. So
Yeah. Now I was looking at Seattle's roster. They ain't bad defensively. They got Tariq
nah,
Woolen, Devon Witherspoon, them the two cornerbacks, and then they got
right.
Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams up front. And they just signed DeMarcus Lawrence. So they not bad at all defensively.
I just don't trust Darnold. That's the only thing I don't trust on that team. That's why I said I give it to the Rams because the Rams is starting to build a defense and they got a cool offense, but I don't think like you remember people. San Francisco was always the bundle. You know what I'm saying? Winning number. I mean to win that division, but now, nah.
Yeah. And they signed your boy, uh what his name? The receiver.
He said he can't abuse power with Mike Tomlin. They not having that.
Valet Scantley. They signed him.
Oh, MVS went over there.
Yeah, to Seattle.
I like my boy MVS, man.
So that's their third. That's their third with Cooper Cup and Smith and Jigma. That's their third.
That's not bad at all, man. But
Nah,
shit,
they not gonna be bad. And then they still got Drew. Is Drew Lock still over there? So there's 1, 2. They got 3 quarterbacks.
Locke wasn't bad either.
No, is Tyler Lockett still a free agent?
But I think so. I don't think they. My boy
I
about
know.
50.
I know. Amari Cooper's still out there. Keenan Allen's still out there, and somebody else.
Let me see. Your boy Hopkins is out there still.
D Hop. Okay. No, I thought he went to. He didn't go to Baltimore.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You did go to Baltimore. You did go to Baltimore. Let me see who.
Yeah, Keenan Allen out there. I mean, it's still some serviceable type, players out there.
Yeah. Gabe Davis out there.
Yeah, Gabe Davis. Mike Hilton. I don't want nobody off of
Claypool. Odell.
Odell done.
Chark out there.
DJ Chark.
Yeah.
I don't think he gonna.
Michael
He ain't
Thomas.
gonna move.
Is Michael Thomas out there?
He ain't played in like 3 years. Shit, he done.
Yeah, that's it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's some solid.
He didn't get signed. We just saying the people that's out there. We saying free agents that's still out there.
Chase Claypool, I think he done too.
Yeah, ain't nobody signing Claypool.
Claypool done. Michael Thomas done.
Yeah, pretty much everybody we said except for Amari Cooper might be done.
Yeah, they done, man. They done.
Coop
even though Coop on his way out. Like he borderline. I mean, he's still productive.
I can see him going to Dallas.
Coop, I don't know. Now that they got they traded for George Pickens and they traded for Mingo from Carolina last year.
Oh yeah, I don't know why they traded for Mingo though, but yeah, they do.
I don't know, but I'm glad they did. Took him off my hand. Took him off my. I think Terrence Marshall was out there in San Francisco too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's still some solid, like Asante Samuel. He's still out there. Mike Hilton's still out there.
Oh yeah, it's some. I wonder who's gonna get Chubb.
Zadarius Smith, he's still available.
Yeah.
Justin Simmons, he's 31. He's still
Dallas,
out there.
I heard Dallas might get Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Yeah, but
that wouldn't be a bad move. I just wouldn't make him my running back one.
I mean, they're gonna have to.
I wouldn't, man. If he go anywhere, it need to be somewhere that's already got a starting caliber one. Maybe somewhere like Houston where he can come in behind Joe Mixon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah. But we gonna see, man. But shoot, man. Hopefully, my uh, what's it next year? What's his name? Shaw. Be back with Shaw. If not, man, we gonna do another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we can run it back.
Yeah, man. Shaw said he should be because Shaw was like Saturday. I was like, man, I gotta work Saturday. So, yeah, next Monday either it's gonna be Shaw, it's gonna be you, man. Either one. So, man, appreciate you, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
All right, man. See you next week.
All right, take it easy.